another InventRight TV show. We have a resident LinkedIn for licensing expert, Benjamin Harrison, InventRight co-founder, Stephen Key. I'm also a co-founder of our company. And so we're going to give you some more tips on how to get into companies through LinkedIn. Yes, you can use LinkedIn. Yes, you can to get into companies. Was that cheesy enough, guys? Is that good?
No, pretty good, Andrew.
Okay,
Actually, I
thank
like
you,
it.
thank you,
Success,
thank you.
mission successful.
Actually, I like
Yeah.
that. That was good. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to say. We talked about who we're going to reach out to. Someone in marketing, product manager is probably the best. If not sales, I think. Don't go too high. Don't reach out to someone that's got a.
Well, let me clarify that, Stephen. If it's a smaller company, going to the CEO, if other people don't respond, sometimes it's okay, right?
No, that's actually very true. In fact, if
Yeah.
they're small enough, you'll talk to the president, which is
Right.
I got my first no from a CEO that was really active. He gave it to me really quick. So yeah, there are some active CEOs for sure.
Well, they don't have enough to do. So
They're way overpaid.
Let's talk about, we talked about not doing all caps, not doing links, not writing a book. So what should we do?
So the way that this works, like what it all boils down to is you don't load your some big ask in your first message whenever you're reaching out to someone. The first response that you get out of anyone is the most difficult one to get. After they've engaged with you, even just a little bit, it feels a lot more natural. Things start to open up, and it just feels a lot more like a conversation. It's not as cold feeling as it is at the beginning. So my method is to ask them something that is easy for them to answer, but not something that's easy for them to answer, like what color's the sky, and then trick them into responding, but something that's direct in your goal of what it is that you're trying to achieve. So you ask them who it is at their company that takes care of open innovation submissions. And there's a lot of different wordings of that you can use. There's longer versions that you can use if you need to be more specific about the product category. But if you simply ask someone that, you have a really good chance of them responding to you. And after that first response, it's really off to the races from there, because not only is there a high percentage chance that they're actually going to give you the contact's name, but they may even want to look at your idea and talk to you a little bit about it and help champion that as they are pushing it up the ladder, so to speak. And if they do just supply you with the name of the person, the email address of the person that you're supposed to get that to, then you can reference your contact that you spoke to on LinkedIn in that message and warm that message up some as well. It's really powerful.
So give us an example, Benjamin, because I know you do scripts. I know you've been helping a lot of the people I know, a lot of InventRight students. You've been teaching this now for quite a while, and we're getting a great response, by the way. You write scripts, right? I mean, people get scripts from what you provide.
Multiple scripts in multiple media forms, because you can do text scripts and you can also send audio messages right now, which are a really hot thing on LinkedIn.
Really? So give me the first line. Hi, my name is Stephen Key. I'm a product developer. I'm looking for someone that would take outside submissions. I mean, is that what I'm saying? Give me a better example of that.
Basically, the main difference, and I don't know if this necessarily makes or breaks it, but whenever you're writing a script, your goal is to lower yourself down into the mine and just chip away at it and make it shorter and shorter and shorter, and make it more concise and make it more to the point. So I don't even introduce myself. I don't say my name, because my name is underneath my profile, or my profile picture actually in the message. So they know I'm Benjamin Harrison because it says so right above it. So I just go right into something like, hey, Stephen, I'm sure it's not your department, but do you know who it is at your business that is in charge of receiving open innovation submissions? Really appreciate your time. Thanks. And that's it.
And even if they message you back saying, what's open innovation, that would be a good interaction. You can say, oh, well, I'm a product developer. I'm looking to license my product. Who would be the right person? And what
It's
you're
it's a
doing there is you're
response.
assuming it's not them, so you're not really asking anything of them. You're asking them to send you to somebody else. But they might say, "Oh, well, that's me." So you're making it easy for, like you said in the other video we did, you're
Hmm.
making it easier for them to respond in some way without having a giant commitment.
Absolutely. That's the key to this. And you what's the saying? You catch more flies with honey. Just spraying whatever message it is at people, sending over your links, sending over your marketing material, blasting people with your information, or any kind of hard selling on LinkedIn just doesn't work. But if you ask somebody a question pertinent to their business, pertinent to your cause, and ask it in a way that isn't even really expecting that much out of them, you tend to get a lot more responses. And even if they do ask what open innovation is, that's your response. That's your first
See,
that's your first response, and then it's off to the races from there.
you know what I like about this is that someone's actually just helping, right? And that's what they do in business. That's what they do during the day of their work. They're trying to direct. They're directing you to the right person. That could be the right person too. You don't know,
Mhm.
but that's not a big ask. That's it's really business to business now because that's what it's about. LinkedIn, right? I mean, they're there because they're in business. You're in business, so that's why you're linking up, right? I mean, that's
And another thing that's great
Absolutely.
about it, guys, is it's asking one thing, just one. It's just one piece of information and one ask, not this big long message with all sorts of jumbled thoughts and, well, what's the goal here, you know? And we
So
see that a
I
lot.
think people do that. One of the keys to this, and Andrew, how are we doing on time, man?
We're good. We got like
Do I
one
need
more
to shut
minute.
up?
That's it. No, no, one more minute.
Okay. So here's the thing. Act like you're supposed to be there, right? There's a lot of people that peacock out. They try to fluff out those feathers and act important and impress everybody with this long book of information. That's really what they're doing. They're trying to impress people with all of this information to make it seem like they're important enough to be in that conversation. Stop. Just don't do that. Just you're a professional. Act like it. Act like you're supposed to be there, and you're going to have a lot better responses out of
And
people.
I'm going to steal one of Benjamin's tips, and we got to wrap it up here that he gave our students just last night. Is he said after you're on LinkedIn for a while, you're going to see people spamming you. You see them spam you, just don't do that. Just see how they're spamming you, the different ways they're doing it. Don't do that. Because
Yeah, well,
it's
internalize that horrible feeling of being spammed, and then have that help you hone your script and hone your skills to where you try to do the opposite of how that makes you feel.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we're going to be sharing more in this series with Benjamin. Great stuff, isn't it, Stephen? Benjamin's
you know it's so important. This is probably the most important part, one of the most important parts, that you're really in the game now because you're reaching out to those companies. Andrew said it a million times. You're not in the game until you're reaching out to companies. You've done
right.
all this hard work. This is an area you do not want to mess up. So that's why this is really important. Benjamin, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Thank you.
All right,
Everybody, take
guys.
care. Keep inventing. We'll catch up with you next time. See ya.